Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Yahweh. Now, when they say that Juneteenth is when they freed the slave, and these individuals believe them and celebrate their day, let's see what is the definition of freedom. Okay, because I don't know what kind of definition these people thinking that freedom is, because that's not freedom. Just on looking on the outside. Let's see if we can get some historical evidence going against that concept. So let's see here. Now we know when the Israelites was in slavery in Egypt, we get a clear example of how they was freed. The Egyptians didn't say, okay, we're not gonna work the Israelites with work them with hard bondage or with hard labor anymore. We're gonna give them equal opportunity and they're free now. No, that's not how the situation went down. Let's see how was these people saved. Okay, now when you go into Exodus, let's get Exodus 14:27. It says, and Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. And the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. 28. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. So when the Israelites was freed, there remained not as much as one of the Egyptians that was coming against them. They all was killed. 29. It says, but the children of Israel walked upon the dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on the right hand and on their left. 30. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. 31. And Israel saw that great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians. And the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. It says in chapter 15, this is what these people is doing on Juneteenth, but they doing this still in the land of the Egyptians. This is when you supposed to do what they doing. In Exodus 15 verse 1, it say, then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and the rider he has thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. So the Israelites, when they was taken out of slavery, they celebrated because their enemies had been thrown into the sea. And 14:28 say, and there remained not so much as one of them. See, that is redemption, because that's what what happened to them. They was redeemed. And see, in this King James that I'm reading, it says redemption complete by blood, by power, the song of the redeemed. This is how you are redeemed. And so these Israelites don't understand that that's how you are freed. Freedom is not somebody saying, write a declaration and just saying that you are free and you're in the same land with the same people under the same condition. Now when you go into Isaiah, it tells you how the Israelites was going to be released from a different captivity. For book of Isaiah, or the prophet Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. It say, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. So when he had mercy on them, he was going to return them to their land from the captivity. They wasn't going to be in the same land that they was taking captives and being there celebrating about somebody making a declaration or what do you call it, emancipation, proclamation. They're making a proclamation, and they thinking that they free. No, they was sent. He gonna send the Israelites to their own land. Okay, in verse 2 of chapter 14 of Isaiah, he said, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. It says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Not only did the Israelites go back to their homeland, the people that had them, they took them to their homeland too and made them into slaves. It says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You see, they had payback on the people that took them captives, who had them enslaved. Now, verse 3 is the main point. It say, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord give you rest from your sorrow and from thy fear and from your hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. So not only was they going back to their homeland, taking their enemies captive, they was gonna get rest. See, they celebrating the Juneteenth, but there ain't no rest happening. People still working sun up to sundown. People still working for minimum wage. People still don't got a pot to piss in. People still going through depression and stressed out and dealing with a sorrowful, fearful situation, fearing for their life by the hand of their enemy. See, nothing has changed. They're not getting rest. See, that is freedom. Not somebody giving you a emancipation proclamation. That's not no freedom. Somebody transferring you over to the government and letting the government system rule over you instead of you working it for one individual in a big house. See, because they didn't do that in Egypt. The Israelites wasn't working for one individual in Egypt. They was under the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh and the people that were in the Egyptians had them doing all the hard labor. See, you didn't have to be under somebody or owned by somebody with their name on you in Egypt. You see? And that's why this place is called spiritual Egypt in Revelation 11:11. Because it's not going to be people being owned by individuals They're owned by the kingdom, by the rulers. But um, it's another way that they talking about freedom when you go into Luke. Let's get Luke, because it's going to give you some understanding of what freedom is all about. Not only in that in Joel chapter 3, it tells you that the Israelites that were sold, they was going to get raised up out of the place where the people sold them. In verse 7. And it said the people that sold them was going to get sold. You see? So they didn't stay in the land that they was in and had a notion of being free. Now Luke, the first chapter, and let's go straight to the point. In verse 47, it say that he would grant unto us that we were delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. Jump back up to 71 in Luke, the first chapter. That we shall be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. You see, that's when you are free. When you are saved from your enemy and people that hate your whole nation. And that's oppressing your nation. Not you being emancipated, proclamated into a system, a different type of slavery, a worse version of slavery. That's what his historians say, because everybody gotta get stuff from the store. You got to go to the store to survive. So you just a slave to the store, and that goes on with this Baruch. Let me end it on this Baruch. Let's get Baruch. Baruch. Let's see. Baruch was the apprentice or scribe for Jeremiah. Let's see here. Is it 4:25? Bear with me 1 second. Let's get this, because it breaks it down so wonderful. I'm thinking chapter 3 verse 8. Let's get it. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. See, we are still in captivity. When you captured and you still in the hand of your enemies, you're in captivity. Ain't no Juneteenth, ain't no freedom. Where you were scattered. See, we were scattered here. Scattered in the islands, scattered in the UK. We still in those places. For reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. See, that's what we got down to. It's not you got to work on your master's land. No, we're subject to payments. We're debt slaves. And we're still in the land of our captivity. It said, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God. Now you jump down to verse 10, it says, how happened it, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land? See, we are still in our enemy's land, man. That thou art waxing old in a strange country. See, we still in a strange country. We didn't come from this country. And so for them to be celebrating is just a terrible thing. And they're totally blind to the situation. Freedom is not being in your enemy's land and being subject to payment. We still in captivity. So I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Shem Clark Dash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.